Hey, guys, listen up. Michael is up on the roof and acting strange.
Whoa, what's the situation?
I think he's suffering from
having a sexy new roof rack boy.
What's up? Welcome to vanbuild.
Nice.
Cue the music. Alright, so today we are going to, or tonight, we're going to try to install the roof rack. Please just stop caring. It's how we're going to talk about things here. Maybe I'll convert you. Roof rack for life. So it's in somewhere in these boxes. These are my solar panels, not these boxes. But I think it's somewhere in these boxes and more boxes. We got a rack from Flatline Van Co. Basically, there are not very many options within the van life, van build space for roof racks. Or there are options, but you are accepting certain limitations with each option. So there's the Luminesce type experience, which you've seen around, in every picture. But that's like $5,000 to have a rack. For the rack, the price, and then the installation, and you have to go to their place and have someone do it. And it's just complicated and expensive, and that's like the, top tier Sprinter van brand.
I'm so tacky, you already know.
Then there are other options from small shops. There's a guy in Ohio that makes racks out of aluminum, but his are kind of incredibly technical, hard to understand. They're not all-in-one pieces. There's not just one size fits all. You have to kind of figure out your panel size and your fans and where it's going to fit and the mounting holes. So along comes Flatline Van Co, a company in Oregon, I think, Portland. All the good stuff's coming out of Portland.
So help me God, I will jump from head to head using your skulls as stepping stones into the river that is the street.
And they make a rack that the first time I encountered their rack, within 30 minutes, I had thrown out every other plan or idea of what I wanted to do for a rack and settled on a Flatline Van Co rack because it was just beautiful, exactly what I wanted, DIY possible, and the price was a third of what it would be for a Luminesce, or a fourth. So no brainer. So super excited. Hopefully it's in one of these boxes. Let's figure out what's in here. All right, so everything came in this box right here. A little deceiving. I thought maybe I was missing pieces. So basically you have your 4 main side rails right here, and then you have all of your aluminum 80/20 cross rails, which are gonna go perpendicular to the van, and then the other ones they run with the van. Then you have your mounting feet, and then your bolts. So let's get it unwrapped and see what's up. All right, so we're unboxed. The gist of it is going to be get up on the roof and undo the corks. Wow, there's a deer right there. Undo the plugs in the factory holes on the roof. Clean out any extra glue so that it's a nice clean surface. And then you take the rubber gasket, the footer for the rack, and then the washer and the bolt, and then you just bolt those down in place. And then you bring up these and you start attaching these to the feet, and then you connect those to each other using these connector pieces, and then you start putting in your rails. I believe that's what the really simple tutorial video said, so we're going to see how that goes. Alright, so now we have a hole exposed. We have the rubber gaskets that go closest to the roof. Then you have the metal piece that goes directly on top of that. Then you take your screw and your washer with the rubber piece down, insert it there, and then ratchet it down. So let's see how that goes.
I'm gonna show you that special plane.
Alright, those go on pretty easily. I'm going to leave them not fully bolted down, just pretty tight, but not extremely tight, in order to make sure the rail attaches without any issues, and then I'll just finish tightening them up. All right, so we have the shorter of the 2 rails right here. This is going to go in the back the way that you can know this is
You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
the two of the rails have slots, pill slots on the side of them, and they go on the driver's side. So by process of elimination, you can figure out that the short ones go in the back and that these two rails go on this side of the van because the driver's side is that side. This is the passenger side. So we have our bolt and our washer and our nut.
That's pretty neat.
And then we have an Allen wrench and the appropriate socket wrench head. We'll see how this goes. Had to get a regular moon wrench, I don't know what it's called, to be able to fit underneath here. All right, definitely a little tedious. It's a small space and an awkward angle, but first bolt on. I'm gonna stick this second bolt on, work my way on down the line, and then connect these two and start on the other side. So I ran into a little bit of a problem here, which is that the one side of the rack is almost perfect. The other side of the rack, I guess I don't know, it's slightly different, the curvature of the roof, and so the rack is not meeting and it's not flush. So I'm going to insert some washers, or one washer, however many it takes, to compensate for how much lower this piece is than this piece, and hopefully that fixes it. We're almost done with the roof. Now we have the 80-20 crossbars. They're gonna go crosswise on the van. We just put them in these little notches right here, and then put screws in the end, and then we can tighten them at whatever position we want them in. So I'm gonna have solar panels in the back, and so I'll probably put 3 here, and then 2 in the front, or 4 in the back and 1 in the front. I'm not sure. It depends on how many I have. Let's see how this goes. Pretty simple. You just take these black screws right here, and then the ends of the bars have threads, and you just line the thread up with the slot, screw them in on both sides, and then move them where you want them, and then tighten them down. Now the last part to the roof rack is the front fairing, in order to cut the wind or direct the wind up and over the rack, hopefully. I'm not sure if it'll actually function as it's supposed to, but hopefully. So it's just 6 bolts, 3 on each side, and then possibly connecting some backside bolts to the bars up top. When I get up there, we'll see what we're dealing with and finish the roof rack. All right, we're gonna see if we can't assemble these 2 pieces down here, and then bring them up on the roof and see if we can attach them then, because it wasn't working trying to do it up there. Oh my God, it's very hot. So the way that I'm doing this that kind of makes sense now that I think about it. I'm running the bolts through the front fairing with their 80-20 piece, the piece that gets stuck inside the vanes of the 80-20 and can't turn, and then sliding the 80-20 piece along those bolts, and then I'm gonna tighten them. It makes a lot more sense to do it this way than trying to, what I was trying to do, which is so stupid now that I think about it, sticking these little these pieces. I'll show you. These little pieces right here, which are they're designed to be slid inside of the 80-20 gap, and then they can't turn, so you tighten a screw into them, and then that creates a bond. So I was sliding these into the 80-20 and then trying to match the holes, which is crazy. So now I'm putting these on the piece, the major piece, and then sliding the 80-20 over these. So I take my screw and my 80-20 special piece, and I stick it through this little hole right here on the main fairing. I screw this on just enough where it's sitting, just enough where it's sitting on the bolt securely. And then I slide the 80-20 over that and there. And then I'll just tighten this once I have all of them connected. All right, we got everything attached up here so that it's not going anywhere on this side. And now we'll go over to the other side, attach that side, make sure we like where it is, tighten down that side, then tighten down this side, and then we'll move on to solar panels as soon as maybe it's not 105 degrees out. And we're done. The roof rack is fully installed and ready for me to take it apart in order to put the solar panels back on. Yippee!
That's pretty neat.